I've been doing 10-dimensional maths in D&D for years now, and it's about time I explain that that's not nearly as impressive as it sounds. See, in maths and sciences, we tend not to think of dimensions as just stuff like our XYZ, you know, the 3D that we live in, and time. I'm preempting the smart arses, thank you. When we talk about dimensions or a 10-dimensional problem, we're just saying that there are 10 different things that you need to be able to describe anything in a given space. So for example, if I wanted to describe a position on this page, then we could use the X and Y coordinates, a 2D space. These are at right angles, and that's really important just so that we can say that if you're changing X, you are not changing Y. And so this is 2D, and we usually think in our 3D, and then people get a bit caught up when we start talking about 4 or 5 dimensions, because that's really hard to picture. But hear me out, what if we take this problem and we extend it in a way that isn't spatial? Let's imagine we have some circles instead of points, and we want to know both their central position and their radius. Then we can describe every circle as in this 3D space, X, Y, and R, the radius. Just to be clear, this R isn't a spatial one. This is just another way of measuring this thing that we want to measure. So why does this matter for D&D? Well, there's a few things that I use this in. The first use case was for damage types. And for this, we're just going to imagine we have fire and cold damage for now. If you want to cast a spell, you put some energy into the weave. But you don't just push in any random direction, you push in the direction of a damage type. So if you want to do fire damage, you've got to push in that direction, and the more you push in that direction, the more damage you'll do. And if you push in the cold direction, you will do cold damage, and again, there'll be different damage depending on how much energy goes in. And then these different dimensions have different responses to the input energy. So maybe it's easier to do higher damage with fire damage in that direction. And when I'm doing my Warlock writing system, we have these aspects, each of which make up a damage type. And since there are 10, so we have 10 going down, and then these are all positive and negative, or sometimes the other way around. If there's a bar on the top, it's the negative, except for this one where there's 2 bars, don't worry about it. But because of this, we can effectively treat our damage types as a 10-dimensional coordinate. So for example, this is what one damage type can look like, where we have 10 individual dimensions, and then most of them are 0, 2 of this, 1, and 1. And then from that, we can do a lot of maths. It follows the same rules as going from 2D to 3D. They're all independent degrees of freedom that our problem can move in. But fundamentally, I am not sitting there doing the math thinking in like a million dimensions. I'm just following the same rules. I've got more to say on this. I'll probably say it in the Warlock book, but when you're doing high dimensional maths, it sounds really impressive. But honestly, I'm the same idiot as before. Anyway, have a lovely day. Okay, bye.